We just studied the Sutram 1471, Tirantardhau. The anuvritti of this entire Sutram goes into the next Sutram in the Ashtadhyayi order, which is 1472, Vibhasha Krinyi. A simple Sutram. The vritti says, Tirah Shabdaha Krinyi va Gatisanyasyadantarthau, which means that the designation Gati is optionally assigned to the term tiras when it is used in conjunction with the verbal root kru, dikri karane, and denotes disappearance or concealment. The prior Sutram 1471 says that tiras, when denoting disappearance or concealment, always gets the designation gati, provided it is used in conjunction with a verb. This Sutram 1472 now says that if that verb is the verb kru, dikri karane, then tiras gets the designation gati only optionally. That's what the note here says, that Prapta Vibhasheyam, Prapta Vibhasha Iyam, which means that the designation Gati, which is already available by the prior Sutram 1471, Tirantardhau, to the term tiras, when it denotes disappearance or concealment, is being made optional by the present Sutram 1472, when the verbal root kru, dikri karane is in conjunction. So these two rules, 1471 and 72, taken in conjunction, mean that the term tiras, which we know is an avyayam, when used in the meaning of disappearance or concealment, always gets the designation gati as long as it is used in conjunction with a verb. But if that verb is the verb kru, dikri karane, then the designation gati is optional for tiras. The next note here says that this Sutram 1472 is not to be confused with the identically worded Sutram 1498, Vibhasha Krinyi, which concerns the optional assignment of the designation karma pravachaniyaha to adhi. So it's an identically worded Sutram 1498, but the topic is completely different. It is talking about the karma pravachaniya sanya for the term adhi. So it's a completely different topic. Here in 1472 we are talking about the gati sanya for the term tiras. So please don't confuse these two rules, 1472 and 1498, which have the same wording, Vibhasha Krinyi. Okay, let's take an example of the Sutram 1472 now. Antarhitang kritva equals tiraha kritya or tirah kritya or tiras kritya or tiraha kritva or tirah kritva. The meaning is having concealed. Note here says that in the opinion of some grammarians who do not take the anuvritti of gati into the Sutram 8342, which we are going to study next, the form tiras kritva may also be possible. So in their opinion, tiras kritva is the sixth optional form. Let us briefly look at 8342. 8342 says tiraso anya tarasyam. Vritti says tiraso gatisanyasya sovasyat kupvoho parayoho, which means that a visargaha belonging to the term tiras is optionally substituted by the letter sa, provided tiras has a designation gati and is followed by a letter of the ka vargaha or pa vargaha. Now, according to some grammarians, the anuvritti of gati from the Sutram Namaspurasor Gatyoho 8340 is not taken into this Sutram 8342. How do they deduce that? From the fact that in the well-accepted form tiraskaraha, meaning contempt or disrespect, the substitution sa does take place, even though tiras is not used here in the sense of concealing or disappearing, and hence does not have the designation gati. By 1471 Tirantardhau, the condition antardhau is not satisfied in the form tiraskaraha. Therefore tiras cannot get the gati sanya, but still we see the substitution sa in place of the visargaha. Hence if we accept tiraskaraha as a correct form, then we cannot take the anuvritti of gati down into the sutram 8342. So even when tiras does not have the designation gati, and hence no compounding is taking place between tiras and kritva, we can still get a substitution sa, giving the form tiras kritva. Okay, let's now go to the derivations. Let's first take the case where tiras is assigned the designation gati, the optional designation gati, by this sutram 1472. Vibhasha kringi. The alaukika vigraha is tiras plus kru ktva. We of course know the affix ktva is prescribed by the sutram 3421 samanakritrikayoho purvakale. And we are considering the case here where tiras is assigned the optional designation gati by the sutram 1472, and therefore we can compound using the sutram 2218 kugati pradayaha. Now as per the sutram 1243, prathama nirdishtam samasa upasarjanam, the term tiras, which optionally has the designation gati by 1472, gets the designation upasarjanam because in the sutram 2218, which prescribes the compounding, the term ku gati pradayaha ends in the nominative case. And hence as per 2230 upasarjanam purvam, the term tiras is placed in the prior position in the compound. Now tiras kru ktva gets the designation pradipadikam by 1246 krit tadita samasascha, because we have formed a compound. Now we replace ktva by lyap by the sutram 7137 samase nang purve ktvo lyap. And as per 1155 anekarshit sarvasya, the entire affix ktva is replaced by lyap. So we get tiras kru lyap. Remove these letters, the ending letter pa of lyap gets the sanya by 133 halantyam. The beginning letter la gets the sanya by 138 lashakva tadjite, and then by 139 tasya lopaha. Both the letters are elided. Now we bring in the augment tuk following the short letter r of kr. The augment is prescribed by the sutram 6171 rasvasya pitikriti tuk. Since lyap is a pit, therefore 6171 applies. And as per 1146 adyanta utakitau, the augment tuk attaches after the letter r. Now we remove the letters in tuk. The nasal letter u gets the sanya by 132 upadeshe jananasika it. The ending letter ka gets the sanya by 133 halantyam, and both take lopaha by 139 tasya lopaha. Now 8266 sasajusho ruhu applies to replace the letter sa of tiras by ru. Remember, tiras is a avyayam. Therefore, the default sup affix following tiras has already taken the look elision by 2482 avyadap supaha. Hence, tiras has the padasanya by 1414 suptingantam padam with the help of 1162 pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam. Hence 8266 sasajusho ruhu applies. So therefore we get tira ru plus kritya. The nasal vowel u of ru gets the it designation by 132 upadeshe janunasika it, and takes lopaha by 139 tasya lopaha. And now 8315 karavasanayor visarjaniyaha replaces that letter ra by the visargaha because it is followed by a kar letter, which in this case is the letter ka. And then comes 8337 kupvoha kahpaucha to give us the optional jivamulya in place of the visargaha. So we get the two forms tirah kritya or tiraha kritya. At this point we need to apply 8342 in order to get the optional substitution sa in place of the visargaha. That will be our next sutram 8342 tiraso anyatarasyam.